Oh, that's hot.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Nothing's Wrong podcast. I'm your host, Isabel.
And I'm Catherine. Welcome back to another episode. If you've been here before, make sure you're hitting that like button and make sure you share this because tonight's going to be really juicy and good. And we actually had one of our listeners send us a message and I wanted to read that to you guys. So I wanted to discuss that as well. It goes really well with what we're talking about tonight. So
they inspired the conversation.
Right.
So
extremely.
This is it's always nice to have you guys let us know what you want to talk about. What do you want to dive into and dig deep on, because that's what we're here to do.
Yes.
So make sure you guys are liking as you come in, letting us know what's up. Hit the comments up, saying hi. That's always kind. Don't just watch without saying hello.
Exactly.
But you guys are good at that. I already know you guys are here.
Sometimes you just want to listen and you don't want to speak, and we understand that.
But this ain't even really speaking. You can leave a comment, and that's not speaking.
Hey, exactly. We don't know. Well, it doesn't matter. But thank you so much for even tuning in.
Thank you for the love.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So the love is here. So yes, I wanted to go into it. And then also I have a little clip and hopefully we can find it. It goes really well with this conversation as well. So hopefully we could be able to find that. But it looks like a lot of you guys are here. So I am so excited for you guys to be here. So I don't know if you want to dive into the conversation.
If you want to,
but let's go ahead. So the listener called, so the message goes like this. So I think a lot of couples nowadays are struggling with the concept of independence versus codependence in a relationship. What I'm witnessing is that a lot of people in their mid to late 30s or early 40s are divorcing or separating or re-engaging in their relationship, and based on past experience want to tackle the topic in independence. Independence. Okay, yeah, you all know what independence is. All right. So codependency, which I think is good. A lot of women, despite their education or even their career, have opted out of independence and have voluntarily become codependent on their partner and as well as raising their children or supporting their partner with their career goals. When they are separated, all of a sudden they're confronted in the fact that they gave up on their independence and need to restart their lives with their own money, and they're not ready to do so. So how do you deal with that? Let's start with that.
So thank you for that.
Yes.
That was a lot.
It was
all over the place. So there's a lot there.
Yeah.
So let me see the paper again. If you have something you want to say to it, you can do it while I go through this.
They're saying that, this woman, a woman that has a career, she has things going for herself, and then all of a sudden she's in a relationship with somebody who wants to marry her, and everything that they've used to take control of is now in the hands of their partner. And something goes wrong and the partner wants a divorce, wants to be separated. And now they have to figure out their own way of taking care of themselves. Oh, we have somebody in here.
Kenson says, hello. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for showing up.
Ibrahim says, hi, ladies. How are you? I'm happy to see you, beautiful. Hi.
Thanks for showing up.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that, that's life. If things don't work out, I think that everybody kind of has to restart sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're saying these are smart, successful, educated women, they'll figure it out. They usually do.
Right.
And I think that her making the decision to stay at home, if you're talking about a smart, educated woman, most likely she would be doing something on the side because that's in her nature already to be productive in her life. If we're talking about that type of woman. So I don't really see that there would be a problem, because you guys always know that we promote, like, hey, you're in a relationship, if you're in anything, a marriage, you should still have your own thing, or have something that, you know, you can make even your own income on.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. What do you think?
Well, I think at the other hand of it all, that person, I'm sure, because she is very educated, she's doing stay-at-home things. There's remote jobs. Doesn't mean that that person, just because they're giving up like their career, doesn't mean like they're fully giving it up. Because they definitely, because we're in this new time and age where you can work remote.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need me unless I'm a doctor or I'm a lawyer.
Right.
Then you're going to need me there. But other than that, I can work from home.
Well, right. And if you gave up your career, let's say you gave up your career, and you know, you're not able to get back out there into that same career, like I said, if you're a smart, educated woman, or, you know, however they want to put it, you're still going to jump back on your feet.
Right.
Now, if we're talking about a woman who didn't give up something like that, and, you know, she just got into the relationship and she didn't already kind of have that, or was in the relationship and started to produce that, then yeah, she would probably be more like, what am I going to do next? But a person who's already done it before, they're just going to do it again.
Exactly.
So I think that's kind of a not the biggest issue she's going to face. I think the bigger issue she's going to face would be, you know, her healing, and how she would be able to start dating again and getting another man with kids, if she wants to date again. But it's going to be hard being a single mom, and I think that's going to be her biggest thing, because making money for yourself, I mean, and especially if the man was taking over and you know, gave up your job for his career, you would be getting half the money anyways, or in California at least
they have a prenup.
But the prenup, she would still be getting some money because she gave up her career. I mean, she would be ridiculous not to, you know, expect something if she gave up a career to be in that marriage.
Exactly. So, I think there was another question in there as well.
Okay, and it's like, how do you have a discussion with your partner on this topic? I think nowadays men are accepting on women not having, or having a career. They're like, oh, if you want to have a career, you can definitely go and do that. Men are definitely more supportive, because that's just the time that we're in.
Right.
So it's not like, I don't think it's hard to have that discussion.
Well, I think it kind of is for certain people, because they're just accepting what the man wants out of the relationship. And so they're giving up a lot of what their ideas of what they want, because they think it's impossible, or they're going to think that this guy's going to run away if I say like what I want out of it.
Right.
And so a lot of the time, men are the ones that walk out with the decision of what they want the relationship to look like, unless that woman has grown and has had enough of being mistreated. Then, you know, her next relationship, she'll obviously make that decision.
Well, the crazy thing of it is, it's usually women asking for divorce in marriages, and men need to really think about that. The reason why women ask for a divorce in marriages is because she most likely, when the problem started, was trying to get you to fix it, and you just never listened, and then she just finally gave up on you.
I want you to play that clip, because it goes with what you're saying.
Okay, you can type it in.
Oh, I don't know what it is. Can I see from?
$19.70 to $50. Men are pretty much going to not want to deal with it until it's probably already over for her. Mm-hmm. And that's where usually the woman decides to leave the man. And that's unfortunate that you can't be on the same page, but that's why communication and letting each other know how you feel and having these open discussions is important. And also it's important because men, you got to know that women aren't necessarily going to, you got to know that communication is the biggest thing. Mm-hmm. If you're not open with your feelings, you're not going to be able to get where you need to go in that relationship, because you're going to just continue to resent, hold back, and the relationship is never going to get anywhere. And that's why, if you're not smart, if you're not trying to make the relationship successful, meaning if problems happen, the best way I think to have these types of discussions is probably going for a walk with the person, spending that quality time that's, intimate between you, whatever it is that you guys do that's, makes your relationship unique. You need to do that with each other and then have that conversation so you can be in a safe space and be able to express yourself freely and comfortably, and let each other know, this is what I'm feeling, this is what needs to happen, this is how I'm going to feel comfortable in the relationship. And if staying at home is making you feel comfortable, like I know when I have children, I don't want to be like, at this point in my career, I'm not even, I don't work for anybody. I work for myself. And luckily my business, even if I have children, I would still be able to do my business. I would still be able to, talk to you guys or do whatever it is that I want, because I set my life up to be accessible to all the things I want to do in my life. But that's definitely like, if my work would interfere and I have a man that wouldn't need me to work or would provide me the luxury of not working, I would take it. Why not?
I mean,
I want to raise my kids. If I'm putting, whether working or raising my kids, I'm going to choose my kids.
Right.
Every time. Because it's kind of like a nurturing primal instinct in women. It's like, you choose your kids, especially if you already have a man, because obviously you can't choose your kids if you don't have somebody to supplement that income, because then you're not choosing your kids, you're putting your kids in danger, because then how are you going to live? Right. But if you have somebody there who can supplement that, give you, that shelter, that protection, that providing, then choose your kids.
Yeah.
Raise your kids, be that parent, so your kid, the type of child you're putting out in that world. And I think it's everybody's responsibility. And this is hard for women to hear, because we're promoted, be independent, but you always should choose your kid. And this is why you should only have children with men who can give you that, because that's for real. That's the real reason why you need a man that's, a provider, a protector, a secure man who's going to give you tender love and care, who's going to commit to you, who's going to care for you, who's going to be consistent with you.
That's the part that a lot of men lack, is the consistency.
No, it's a lack. It's a thing that women lack, is demanding consistency. If somebody's not consistent with you, I say, a woman went on, that Instagram show Singles, when they go on the Instagram show. Yeah. This woman was on there and she had 2 kids and her baby daddy was living with her. And she wanted to be, because she's single, because they're not together, wanted to be in a relationship. And when she told the story about how she met this guy and was with this guy, she was talking to him for 3 to 4 months and got pregnant by him. And then after she had her kid, she was like, well, I want another kid and I don't want to have a separate father for them. So let me go and have another kid by him. This is the type of thinking of the women, the modern day women. Mm-hmm. And it's so sad and weird. And
it is weird because a lot of men don't think like that. They don't be like, not a lot of men will say, I'm going to just have a child by this one person and I will always have, use this as...
Men don't even put that in their head.
No, this is not even a vision. It's not a common sense thing.
But even past that, mm-hmm. It's insane that you would be even having a baby with somebody that you've only known for 3-4 months, and mm-hmm. he wasn't even your boyfriend. You were talking to him for all this time. Mm-hmm. So
that's the problem that we face. Why would you even go through definitions of things? We don't know.
But why would you have a baby with someone that you've met for that amount of time? And then when she had the second baby, she was just messing around with him still. She still was. So she was never in a relationship with him.
So how did he end up living inside the home?
Because he fell on hard times.
Oh, okay. And so he needed her assistance.
And she had bought her house.
Oh, wow.
This and gave him a room.
This is the sugar baby experience that women who are... Was this person melanated? And I know I'm not using as a color thing.
She was a Hispanic and Black overweight woman. So, and she was basically an Instagram thought. Mm-hmm. And she was like, one of her requirements was that he has to be secure with her thoughting on Instagram. Not like real thoughting, but like, showing bikini, sexy photos and stuff of women, guys who like BBWs.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay. And she was like that she's overweight, but she was like, I'm chubby, but I don't want a chubby man.
So he's skinny.
The guy has to be skinny, and she won't date a white guy. Okay. He can't be white. Oh. So she's racist. It was ridiculous. And you know how many women and that say that oh, I don't date white guys. And it's like, you might be the most...
Well, they don't. It's like, it doesn't matter what you like. I mean, you don't date them, you don't date them. This is the thing. But what are you dating for? Okay, yeah, you're thinking about... This is the small thinking. You're thinking about race, but are you thinking about more that comes with the relationship?
As a woman, you need to be... I'm going to say things right now that maybe not people going to think... going to like, but I really don't care. When you are really dating for marriage, right? Mm-hmm. If you're dating for marriage, you need to be dating the guy who's going to be the best possible mate for you as a partner in marriage. Mm-hmm. And if you eliminate white guys from that, you literally made your chances of finding somebody that will fit that type of lifestyle for you very small. Because if you're not going to date a white guy, it's probably less likely you're going to date an Asian guy. And then it's probably the furthest you'll go is probably Indian. And that's still a big if. But if you're only dating Black or Hispanic guys, it's probably less likely for you to find exactly like the type of man that you want. Because and it's not me saying that because I have this, feeling about it or whatever, but I'm just saying it because if we're looking about which men perform the top performers percentage wise, you can look up the statistics. It's white, Asian, and then it goes, the Middle East and Eastern and stuff like that. And then it's Black and then Hispanic at the bottom. Mm-hmm. So to limit to basically saying, I think you should, as women, date all categories, but don't eliminate the top one. Because they're, unfortunately, I know people, get feelings about it, mm-hmm. but unfortunately, you're eliminating like a lot of the type of guys you should be dating.
I think I understand where you're coming from on that.
Because women should not be thinking about looks at all.
Yeah, that should be
so for you to say skin color,
I think
that means you're thinking about looks, and that's the issue.
It is.
That's the issue.
That's exactly what
because
it is.
It's not personality, because white guys could act just like another Asian. That's just culture. That's just what you around. That's just what you gravitate to. That has nothing to do with skin color. So you're basing your whole thing on looks, and you already lost the game if you're doing that.
So from my point of view on all this that you were just explaining, is that just chatter, but it's true. I think that the thing that Isabel's mainly explaining is that
they heard what I said.
No, but some people don't hear, and I feel like it comes down to losing opportunity. That means you're just erasing. Okay, so I'm not going to add Bitcoin into my account. I'm not going to add this to my, like, things like that. These investments, you're not going to add them into your lifestyle, because then you're losing a little bit on opportunity, because you don't have much options. You don't have 10 fingers anymore, because you're erasing people out of your category. And like you said, you're not going to expect all the things that you're looking for in a man if you're just choosing one race, like one color and one person. Like, you have to have all opportunities given to you. Like, if it just makes
that's the whole point of being in America. You
never know how a person's going to treat you, no matter if the color of their skin. And so it comes down to, like, really, like, somebody's going to appreciate you, who you are. If you just sit there and accept the same old. It's like you're dating the same people over and over and over and over again, expecting for you to have some new opportunity. And it's like, no. There's this one girl who was only dating black men, and then one day she met this, she's overweight a little bit, but she met this white man, and he fell in love with her, and she's never knew what love meant until she met this man. And it had nothing to do with his race, but the person he is. It comes down to personality.
Right.
And it's like anybody could be that energy. Sometimes they're like, oh, you sound like a white person when you sound like a regular person. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this white guy is acting black. Like, everybody's acting something. It's like, aren't we a human race?
I think he just
adapted to the culture. It's called culture. It has nothing to do with
skin color.
Yeah. And that's the problem that we face in all relationships. It could be with money. It could be with business. Oh, I ain't going to go into a business with no white man. Like, what? You let him go in there and you're going to get all the business. What do you mean? So you're going to erase him from being a part of your team because he's white? Like, do you know that's going to make you an asset? And you see that also in business, right? They can't lie about that. They're like, oh, we're gonna let him go in more than me.
Today, like the argument for white people, black people not liking white people because of slavery and stuff like that. Majority of the white people who were here their ancestors weren't even here during slavery. A lot of them are Italian, Greek, German. They're from different places, because if they go back enough in their history, probably 3-4 generations, it was not in America. So a lot of those ones are in the South, and those are those people. But a lot of the people the white people in America now are either
somebody's here
generations and all that stuff of different cultures. So it's like it's kind of like it's like they're blaming them because of their skin color, but not necessarily because the person actually even did it, because it's like my ancestors weren't even in this country,
right?
So they didn't do that to your people. And so, because I know that because I'm Haitian, and so my history isn't in America. My ancestry went through the Haitian stuff in Haiti, the slavery over there, but it wasn't on this land. So that particular thing, it's a whole different thing down my lineage. Of course, I'm compassionate. I understand it. It happened to us too, but I'm still saying, like, if we're really talking about you did this to me, your ancestors did this, is like, actually those weren't my ancestors. Get what I'm saying? Kimberly, hey Kim, how are you? Thank you for being here. Souls don't have colors. If you correct with If you connect with someone, you connect with someone. Open yourselves up and see all possibilities. 100%.
Exactly.
That's like,
that's it.
And I think it's weird, especially for women, to not do that, because women are so understanding and caring and nurturing and like openly emotionally that like for you to not deal with somebody, date somebody who could love you but is a different color than you, like you said, you would just miss out on everything.
It's so funny because I'm going to use this as a food thing. Like, for instance, I used to be a plain eater. I didn't eat anything that had nothing to do with just plain stuff. I don't want no extra things. Like, no, I'm like, take this out, take that out. I don't want that. You know, I used to be like that. And then as I grew up, I started saying, oh, let me try this. Right. I hate mushrooms, you know that, right? Yeah. So I had something like that had mushrooms in it, and it was so good. And I was like, I'm so shocked that I like this. And it's like, stop limiting yourself on things because you never know how much you're gonna like it. I might not love it, but I like it. Right. You know, so be open to when they say, are you open? Like, you should literally give that openness a chance. I mean, open in today's world is a little kind of different, but you should still have that openness. So it looks like Isabel found the clip. So we're gonna probably get that going.
You can still say your point.
No, my point is done.
Oh, you didn't say much then. Anyways, let's get this clip up here. Okay.
Oh, babe, before I forget, can you have a look at the bathroom door? It's getting stuck. I'm not a builder. The kitchen tap's still dripping. Do you think you can have a look at that?
Not a plumber.
Well, could you at least have a look at my car? The engine oil light's been on for ages.
I am not a mechanic. Hey, how's your day?
Yeah, good. Neighbour came out with little jobs.
Oh, okay. You want anything for it?
Well, he said I could either bake him a cake or sleep with him.
So what cake did you bake?
I'm not a baker.
And that's when they leave them.
Okay.
This is the example of when you're done with somebody. Right. You're useless. You're not doing anything to make this relationship seem like I'm well taken care of. I have a provider. And I'm not only talking about paying the bills, but little things like that. Like she was asking, like, hey, the door's squeaking and the sink is leaking. Oh, I'm not like, excuse me?
Yeah, I wouldn't even date a guy who wasn't nice to me. That's like,
no, sometimes they're nice. Like, they're nice. You've never experienced them not being nice. You really enjoy them. And then they get to a point where they introduce you to this new soul. And you're like, who's this man?
No, I feel like guys like that, they would have showed you in the beginning.
You think so?
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Do you think men show you who they are truly?
Yeah, you can always tell a guy who's gonna help you from a guy who's not gonna help you.
So what if he was helping you?
Men who help you, they usually like helping you eventually.
Okay,
but
what if they're tired of helping you? They're like, they get to a point where he's responding with those kind of questions, with those answers.
So I would just say, hey, where's the money? I'm going to call the person.
So you would take the responsibility of being independent and taking over instead of being codependent.
Well, all it would be me saying, I'm going to call the person, give me your card. I'm not paying for it because you here. So I could either call somebody and you pay somebody else to do it, or you could go and do it. I'm not going to fix it because we already figured out I wasn't going to fix it.
What do they say? If I fix it, I'm going to let Jesus fix it because if I fix it, I'm going to kill it.
I'm going to go to jail.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, like if I was put in that situation, I would definitely, first of all, respond in her level, but not on her level where I would be like, you know, like, well, that's true. Well, somebody else came to take care of the business. Like, shoot. And then I'm going to respond just like you. Like, I didn't, but even though I wouldn't do anything to him, like, you know, like, but still.
But like, I want to get back on that point and kind of say, like, if you are doing nice things for your woman, I mean, I don't know, like in my relationship, we kind of talked about that, where he holds the door and he'll get my door and he'll always like walk on the side of the road. Like he just kind of like, and he was like slipped up a couple of times. And when he did, I would just kind of like stand like, oh, the door. And I'll just like nonchalant, just not thinking like, oh, the door or this. And then he's like, oh, so if I don't get it, you gonna just still expect me to get it. And then it's like, oh yeah. And then he was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, I was like, you like doing it. He's like, I do like doing it. He's like, I like doing it for you. And it makes me feel good to do it, because you put me in my masculine when I do it. And it's kind of like a cute thing. So I don't really see, I mean, I told him he liked me, he liked it.
I think when you break it down to them nicely and you're like explaining to them in a way that is not harsh, and you're like, oh, well, I thought you loved to do it. Like, you know, when you speak to your partner in a way of kindness, because at the end of the day, when you're in a relationship with somebody, you don't want them to be that person where you have to cuss them out, you have to treat them badly, you have to be negative all the time. I think that should be your zone of safety and comfortability. You get to be vulnerable with them, you get to be sweet with them, you get to be like that young version of yourself, because that's what makes the relationship last. And that they're not looking for you to do anything else but be who you are, like in that level. Because other than that, then you got those problems where he's like, I'm having hard times and I'm staying at your house and I'm giving you multiple kids with no commitment, no communication. You're not saying nothing. He's all you saying is, when we're gonna make it official? When are we gonna, like, you are not, as a woman, you should never look for yourself to have the title of the girlfriend, of the wife, by for it. It should be natural, and that's what you should want for yourself as well. You want to naturally understand that you know where your role is in this relationship, and it's been acknowledged by both parties, but not you as a woman first. A woman should never go out their way to question. If you feel like you got to ask, that's never going to be.
That's true, because men are so simple that they basically let you know. They'll let you know probably on the first date. And will let you know every day after that, because they're just kind of men like that. And even if they, you know, didn't do that, but you can feel it. You always know, like women should know. So if you gotta ask him, he don't want to do it. That's the sad reality of women, because they think, oh, it's a modern world, I'm a modern woman. It's like, no, you're desperate when you do that. Because if your relationship was on that level, I promise you, baby girl, he will ask you.
And that's why it's important.
It's not on that level for him.
Look outside of the box. Don't stay and say, hey, this thing is going to be inside the circle.
Says good question. Thank you.
This is going to be in the circle, and that. No, have it all open so you can get all opportunities everywhere. You got this Asian person, you got this white person, you got this black guy, you got this, and you might get what you're really looking for. You might get that exact black guy because you didn't let everybody else out. You just don't know. When you limit yourself to one race or one particular company that you want to work for, or any relationship that, oh, I'm only going to do this kind of business. Like, no. Think outside the box.
So let's flip it. So let's flip it. So what about, because we suggest that for women, but even for men, it's the opposite. Because men are so much more visual. They do only limit to what they find attractive.
Well, that's how it works, because if they're not attracted to you, then it's not going to work.
It's never going to work.
That is I'm glad that you brought that out, because men, I know you want to hear your side too, but women have to understand that you choose them. They don't choose you. And that's what we're explaining. So you have the opportunity to say, hey, she need to be bad. She need to have a big booty. She could have this. She could have this, or whatever. She could be educated. She could be this. that's your choices to make. She could be like whatever you want. And you can find that.
And looks wise, not education. Men are mostly, that's the issue.
What's the issue? Because some men like,
but that's different. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about physical.
Okay.
We're not talking about that. Men have, yes, they can put all that in there.
Yeah.
But men still have the luxury, and it's not a luxury, but it's like they base their options on what they're attracted to. They have to be attracted to you. They're men. It's just how they are.
Yeah.
Women, you don't necessarily need to be attracted to the guy, because it's, if he's a good enough person to you, you will build
that attraction. But that's what you want to do. That's what.
But men will not build that attraction for you the other way.
They'll divorce you.
They will turn around and be your friend.
Yeah.
And they'll never look at you like someone they want to sleep with, be with, ever. So that's why it's like an opposite thing. So because most men function in their lower sense, which that, they still need that connection to like, am I gonna want to go there with you?
What if a man barely kisses a woman in the relationship?
It's either he doesn't like to kiss, or I don't know. I don't know.
That just came in
because
my head.
It depends on if he thinks kissing you feels good. I don't know. I have nice lips, so I never had that problem. People always wanted to kiss me, and so I don't know. But if a person doesn't want to kiss you, then they don't want to be with you. I don't know. I don't even like guys, like when I was dating, I didn't even like, if a guy didn't like at least tell me I was beautiful or that day, I didn't even want to see him again.
No.
I was like, oh.
I'm like a words for affirmation type of woman. Like, I need you to let me know what you're thinking about me.
Yeah.
If you're attracted to me, I need to hear all the words that you feel attracted. I mean, slow it down. Don't tell me all the other stuff. And sometimes people get out of line and they go overboard.
Kim says he's gay. Exactly. He'll be gay if he's, not trying to kiss you, not trying to think. He's he is gay. There you go. That's, you know what? And I didn't even think of that, but it's, if he's in a relationship with you and he's not trying to kiss you, he is just probably using you so people don't know he's gay. Because why would he even be in a relationship with you? He wouldn't. He wouldn't even go that far if he didn't want to kiss you. So that's very, very true.
That's crazy, because I'm just saying, like, they're the barely is like, maybe like they'll give you a peck, and then when they're sexually doing their thing, they're not even kissing you during that part either.
Yeah, that's what she said. Or cheating. I'm gonna go with the gay one, because when guys cheat, they'll be extra like, oh, let me give you, try to cover it up. They don't know how to like cheat and stay the same.
Oh no, they're still doing the same thing. Like, why would you come after me after you just did what you did?
Yeah, no, they're gonna keep the same energy and do even worse and ruin the relationship even more, because they just try to cover up even more. That's why if he cheating, he's trying to bring you extra stuff and be extra nice to you. Like, what? What's on your conscience?
There's a show where this guy, he's gay. He tells women like that the man that they're dating is gay. Like little stories that she would say, and he was like, yeah, he's definitely gay. And it was like, how? Like, but scenarios like that, when they're doing stuff like that, then you got
there are more gay guys out here.
Oh yeah,
that are even admitting it. They're not admitting it, and they're doing it at the expense of women. And this is why women, you cannot be limiting yourself to the type of man that you're going to date, because a lot of these guys, and it's crazy because in especially the Black community,
these hood guys,
they really are either bisexual or gay. And if you're not into that, then you need to make sure that you open your horizons up and travel the world. And I always say, if you can't find a man here, go to another country and you will find one in a month. So
you'll find a man.
You gotta, there's
it's
definitely
just like it's the thing about it is, ladies. Yeah, I know we're like always talking about like these men and all this stuff. They need to be rich or they need to be this. You have to slow down because you have to make your, like, you got to go through a process. It's not like quick and fast. Like, if you're going to get somebody who's wealthy, you got to be in wealthy scenarios. Like, you got to be wealthy. Right. You got to have wealth as well, because
how you gonna
get there? Right.
How you gonna meet them? How you gonna be?
You got to remember that you have to stay on the level that you're
most
on.
Men who are quality guys,
right?
They always, what I'm seeing now, and like you were saying, and even my mom was saying, like they're always gonna want a woman who's ambitious, who has her own thing going, and that's why women. It's like we were saying, back to the viewers. Thank you again for the topic.
Right.
A woman, like, even if she does decide, hey, I'm going to be a housewife, I'm going to raise the children, I'm not going to do this, she can still do something online. She could still do something independently, a hobby, anything.
I mean, she could be part of the community. Like, there's so many things that women can do just because they're at home. Don't like,
because
parents,
the reason why,
schools,
the reason why women weren't necessarily going out into the world and working in those times, they didn't have the opportunities that women have now, where, back then women couldn't work, they couldn't go do any of those things.
They couldn't vote.
Yeah. Right. So women now have those opportunities. So men aren't going to be like, oh no, I want you to be back in those days. They'll be like, oh, do whatever you want. But they're going to be proud of you and cheering you on. And if a guy is not doing that, then that's definitely not the guy anybody should be dating, because he clearly has some other issues that he needs to face. And the reason being that he hates women. Because any man who wouldn't, like, I can understand a man saying, no, I want you to, like, stay home and raise the children and do the stuff like that. And, he thinks that's the best thing to do. And he can afford for, your life, for you guys to still be comfortable. That's a great man right there.
I mean, yeah, like I would take
but
that
for him to be like, hey, I need you to stop working, like, forget your career and things.
I don't think that anybody would do that unless they are moving to another country. Like, if they're moving out of their, like, their comfort zone and the places that they have their family and everything, they're leaving everything behind, then that person has, the right to be like, okay, I'll accept this or not, and we're at a time when somebody can say no. Like, a woman who takes her career seriously, she could say, no, I'm not going to move down there. And then, oops, I lost this opportunity with this guy. And then he's going to go find another one. I mean, he's going to find somebody who's going to be willing to do what he's looking for. So,
right.
And a woman needs to stand her ground, because if you're not accepted of that, you don't just get up and just go with him. You stand your ground and tell him, no, I have this career here. I'm going to do this. And then he'll figure it out. He either going to just say, all right, we're not going there anymore because he cares about you more than that. And he has so much money that he could build a company or whatever, do it here, or he can find his way to here, but not destroying the relationship because he values it. This is the thing about some certain relationships. Like, they're going to get to a point where people have to, like, give up on something. People have to sacrifice. That's part of the relationship. It's part of bonding with everybody. It's not only your mates, but your siblings, your co-workers. You're sacrificing something. You're sacrificing your time as a worker.
Right.
You're sacrificing, your everything. So, when it comes down to that communication part, that, like, really having a conversation with your partner of where you see things in a couple of years, or where you want this to go, or whatever, like, never stop communicating with your partner. Or making it like a time for you to just, like, be vulnerable and understand where they're coming from, and not take every incident that happens in the relationship as it is your own, because everybody is a human being. Everybody's going to have an attitude. Everybody's going to be upset about something, but we have to be at that point where it was like, okay, you know what? Whatever that person's going through, that's not my problem, but I could be there to comfort them and not feel like I have to be upset because they're mad. And, like, it's hard. It's a hard thing to do. I'm like a victim of, like, doing that. Like, I get to a point where I'm inside of their problem. And it's like, no, you're not a part of it, but you can heal it. You can, just give them their space
and comfort.
Right.
And let them express how they need to feel. And I think that's why, like, even in relationships, that there's a good codependency that should go on. I feel as though that there needs to be a time that you can really depend on each other and lean on each other and be codependent for each other, because that's a nice feeling to be like, hey, I can depend on you and you could depend on me, and we're here in the relationship together. And then there are times when you're gonna be independent, when you're saying your career, saying your hobby or whatever it is that you do, that you do independently, still have that. They don't have to necessarily be a part of that. Right. But then you do have the times that you spend together and you nurture the relationship. And I think that right there is a healthy codependency. When it becomes unhealthy is when it's toxic. And we all know when it gets toxic.
If it's toxic, throw it away. It's expired.
Yeah.
Like that thing, it's like drinking spoiled milk. Like, aren't you getting sick? You get sick from that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need that in a relationship. Like, that should never be a place you want to go.
Like, I think toxicity
to be mad at
is like,
and arguing all the day
and like doing things to sabotage each other,
playing games in the relationship.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, why are you even doing this? Because you're bored or because you're depressed and you want other people to be depressed with you? Like, stop being immature and wasting people's time.
Right.
And it's kind of
both parties.
Yeah, for the toxicity, because it takes two people to tango, honey. But if one is toxic, the other one, you toxic now too.
Yeah, of course you are.
And so it's like, and you gotta realize, hey, I gotta get out of this toxicity. I ain't trying to be here with y'all.
I'm not trying to get gray hair.
Right.
Shoot.
I'm not trying to have a heart. I'm trying to be happy with my partner.
Right.
If we always having a good time. If it's not a good time,
then forget about it.
I don't even want to be here.
Nope.
I don't even want to be here.
I know how to walk away from things like that. Like,
don't bring toxicity.
No.
And it's like, there are things that could happen, that you're going to get in little arguments here and there. That's not toxic. That's just life, right? But then if you're doing things like cheating, like doing things purposely, that's going to hurt me, obviously cause pain, and you're not thinking about me in the situation. You're just thinking about yourself. Like, for a person to cheat, let's back that up. It's such a disrespectful thing to do to somebody that you're actually in a relationship with, that it's like, I can't even mess with the person that you are.
I mean, like, you don't even have respect for me, like, to even say, you know what, I'm not
like, if I'm married to you, and you're cheating, I feel like that's crazy.
That's why communication is key.
Yeah.
I've always told, like, my relationship, I've always said, all I need is communication. You're not feeling something, say something, because closed mouths don't get fed. Right. If you don't say anything, I can't do better, or you can't do better, or nothing can get fixed in here. All you're going to do is go search it somewhere when you could find it here, because when you first came here, you were happy. What happened?
Right.
Like, let me know.
Let's figure out what happened.
You know what I'm saying? You
it's
walked
like,
in
why
here
are you going
to
go cheat?
What's going on?
Yeah. Just tell the person what's going on. And then in deep, like, this is the thing. People are so scared of themselves. Right. And it's like, when they finally sit down and ask themselves, what's the problem? They figure out they could have fixed this problem the whole time. It was holding on problems and was just addicted to having problems. Right. A lot of people just pick up problems for no reason. It's like, why'd you even do that? Why was that even a decision that you decided to make? I mean, we all do that, right? Because we like to do sabotage, and that's part of life. And we just like to, overcome ourselves. We like to mess ourselves up just so we can fix ourselves back up again. And that's great if you're doing that. But there gets a point where you start making better decisions, and you grow as an adult. And I think cheating, that adult thing is so childish. Thing. That is, adulting. I became an adult. Yeah, adulting is a real thing. This year. Yeah. And it takes time. Yeah. Because I stopped being a young adult and I became an adult. Well, literally, I turned 30. Right. And I became an adult. And that's what they say. I'm an adult too. Yeah. But I felt it in my consciousness, and it was like, you do. I'm actually
and you
an
feel
adult
when
now.
you become a woman.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I became a woman.
Yeah.
Like I stopped being like a girl or a young woman.
Yeah.
I became
a lady,
I became a woman.
Right.
A lady.
Yeah. A lady. Yeah.
But I felt when I became that and becoming that, it was like,
and then you felt what it felt like to be a girlfriend.
Right.
Because you have to have this feeling, like this comes down to real feelings,
and as you go in those feelings, you realize that the things you did in the past, you will never want to repeat them again, because
especially if you want to be married,
ridiculous. And so that's why I feel like if a person is cheating, then they didn't learn from anything, or they didn't, because it's like, why would you even be in this situation? Why would you even get married? Why would you even be like here claiming, you know, all this for me? Because nowadays, I mean, if you want to cheat, you can say, hey, I'm a type of guy who like an open relationship. You down with it? Exactly. People are very clear. That's why it's like, hey, if you are gay or homosexual, just be honest. Like you can speak your truth. We want your truth.
There's certain places in the world where you can't do that. Truthful.
Yeah, but here in America, because we in America, you can.
You can.
So there's no reason for people not to be. And at that point, it's just kind of like ridiculous.
Right. And no one's gonna kill you for it. Like,
people do kill. I seen today there was a video of a woman, she like caught her man, I guess, in the middle of having sex with his cousin, which was a guy.
Oh.
And he was like, you know, threatening her and stuff like that. And then she was like blackmailing him kind of. And then and she went on live to like tell people like, this is what I found. And he found her and crashed into her car and then shot her in the head 2 times.
Because he didn't want everybody to know his secret.
Right. And everybody knows the secret now. He made sure now that everybody knew the secret, but he did that all so people wouldn't know the secret. And he was like, you know, this hood dude, and, you know, had this image like he was the man, he had the key to the city. That's why, ladies, I don't know why y'all think these men who hang around, a lot of men are straight, because that don't make no sense. I don't care how thug and gangster he may look. If he's rather chill with his boys, then it sounds like him and his boys is having fun, because ain't no man rather chill with boys than women. That's very that should have told you the truth right there. I've never seen a man rather hang out with men than a woman. And if he don't want to hang out with you and he want to go hang out with those guys over you, and say it's the weekend, and he want to go hang out with his boys,
and you can't come.
I've never seen a man who like women
question these things,
because in reality, the guys who are hanging out, if they're not gay and stuff like that, they all want girlfriends, so they don't have to hang out with these guys,
especially as they get
older.
So
I don't know.
Really, this is
any
true.
Guy, older man.
As you get older, because it's called adulting. You want to be in a relationship. You want to have that one person.
Who do you want to
rely on? Exactly.
Who are you gonna
that you
like go to dinner with all the time? You need your permanent date. Why do you want to?
It's cheaper to keep her. Right. Like, it's so expensive to date multiple people. I don't know how
up
y'all,
the charade,
men or women, continue to date and
never try to find anybody.
And the reason why you're dating so much is because you're so selective. Like, you don't got no time to be selecting anybody. You better go where all the options
where
open,
you're celebrated,
and everybody celebrates you. Everybody loves you. You're adored there. They're treating you like you're the queen. You need that energy. I don't know why y'all like that toxicity, that craziness, that rough rider. Like, no.
Yeah, that
throw that whole
played out and
long time ago. As we grow as women and as we grow as men, I'm not a man.
Yeah.
And you grow and you start to make better choices. You start to say, you know what? There's so much things going on in this world. I'd rather spend it with my loved ones. And that's not only yourself, but a family member, your intimate partner that you call your girlfriend, your wife, your fiance.
Yeah.
Like, you need these people.
Like I said, I don't know straight men who would rather hang out with men than he would women, especially his own woman. Because why would he make her his woman if he didn't want to hang out with her?
Exactly.
What's he gonna do?
You're the replacement of his buddies.
Yeah,
he don't want them no more.
He can't sleep with his buddies. He's not attracted to his buddies.
His buddies should already
unless
have
he is.
Yeah, that's a different story.
Unless he is.
I don't like that conversation.
But I'm just saying.
This is
but
the
I'm
world
just
we
saying.
live in, and you
women wake up is like, are these guys down low, or you were just not picking up on the hints?
No, they're not picking up on the hints.
They're clear to me. I mean, even guys who like sag their pants, that's very homosexual.
Right. And you know what?
You're basically showing your underwear.
We looked that up. Yeah. Why that swagness is so popular in the melanated community in the hood is because this culture came from jail.
Yeah.
They didn't have belts during that time, so that they were used to having their pants sag. But we don't know if that's the complete truth.
The problem with it is that you're not in jail anymore,
right?
And now it's just you have your underwear out.
Why do we need to see the shape of your booty?
And the thing of it is that exactly is like, who are you signaling?
Your better than mine?
No, but in the reality of it, it's like, okay, if a woman is doing something that's bringing highlight to her butt, it's like, oh, she wants somebody to sleep with her. She wants somebody to be with her.
With her thong on,
but a woman can't do nothing with a man's butt, so why would she need to see that?
Questioning.
So that's why the person who can see that and do something with that is somebody else. So that's why it's very homosexual. Like, you guys need to see, and this is the thing, people cannot be homosexual and do these things and not see, but it's just like, know what you're signaling, know what the energy that you're bringing onto yourself. So ladies, I'm just saying, you got to keep your eyes open and read the signals, because these guys are making it pretty clear if they're homosexual or not. And if he's not if he claims to love you and like you and want to be with you, and he's not locking you down and spending his time that he has extra with you and planning things with just you and him and looking towards the future with you,
what's he doing?
What's he doing?
What is he doing, guys?
What is he even doing in your life?
Like, question
what kind of
question?
You know how many women have men like in that same situation where it's like they, had a baby with this guy and, barely knew the guy. You don't know a person enough you don't know the person in 3 months, and you're definitely not going to know them to have a kid by them in 3 months. You don't know their family. You don't know their middle name. You don't know. You're just figuring them out.
Even if you know their names, doesn't mean
especially, you know them. No, I'm saying like, and especially if you're in a talking situation, you're not even in a committed relationship. Like, some women could be talking to somebody for months and never be in a committed relationship with the person.
Women fall in love very quickly.
And then sit there and like claim some type of anything with the person.
Very oblivious.
Yeah.
And lost. Because they're just really wanting that attention that they haven't received from anybody. And everybody who gives them attention does the same thing.
Yeah.
It ain't even real attention. It's not. Think outside of the box, ladies. Yeah. So these situations and these scenarios don't happen to you.
Right.
And if they do happen to you, erase everything you thought of. Like, all right, let me erase this whole like standards and what they need to be and what they need.
I think women just need to have basic standards that is gonna give her,
let them have a career,
commitment, and consistency she needs in her life.
Exactly.
If he's not caring, committed, or consistent in your life, then you need to get him out of there. And part of his commitment should be that he provides you with some type of service or some type of giving. You can't give in the relationship and not receive anything and think that that's a relationship.
Yeah.
And if the man is not going out of his way to like make sure that you're happy, you're not in a relationship. Like, men, when they want to be, they are the sweetest person.
Oh, it's so nice when they're just.
But
like,
if he
in that
doesn't
good
want to
energy.
be, he doesn't want to be, and he'll
And I
show
don't
you
like that. I don't want that person.
No,
You give that to the other people.
like
You
I
don't
told
give
you,
that to me.
if you ain't even gonna compliment me,
oh,
I don't
forget it.
even want to date you.
Nope. I need that words of affirmation. I
Yeah.
need the acts of service.
And I don't
need
like corny guys
quality
who's like, oh,
time.
I don't want to gas you.
Gas
Excuse
me?
me?
Oh, you're not for me. Bye.
You're not for me.
Gas me.
Aren't like what?
You're
what's
supposed
the
to be
whole point?
leveling me up with my energy. Oh, babe, you look good.
I feel like if a guy
you
doesn't
know?
sweat you or think that you're
the most beautiful thing, like you're the most like, even if you know you're not the most beautiful person in the building, but they make you have all the energy as you are.
Why wouldn't
like,
he want
wow.
to? Your girls do that for you.
Right.
Your closest people
if
be
your
bigging
girls
you
is
up.
doing
I mean,
more
look
than
at
your
look at y'all
mess.
Instagrams when you. I be seeing some people's Instagrams. They don't even be nothing, but people will be right in the comments. Oh yeah, look at you. You go, girl. You go. So you killing it. So if your man can't do that for you, but the fake people on Instagram could do it for you, then that's the problem right there. He needs to be your biggest cheerleader. He needs to ride for you
just
the
as
same
much as you're gonna ride for him.
Like, it's really just that simple. But yeah, guys. So we've been on here
for 1 hour,
and that's usually our cue because we gotta get out of here.
So I hope you guys understand what we're talking about.
Yes.
If you are faced with these things, do what's best for you.
Right.
Okay. Because you're the one that matters. You want to be happy in your relationship. You want to have sanity. You don't want that toxicity.
Right.
No more.
Right.
Throw that whole thing away.
Let your relationship
restart.
be your peace.
You don't have to kill yourself off.
Toxic.
You don't have to kill yourself off, because a lot of people are killing themselves, literally killing themselves, suicidal, because of relationships, because of decisions that they made. Everything could be restarted all by the blink of your own eyes. You don't have to kill yourself. Like I said, take the time to know what you want out of a relationship, what you want out of life, and build that for yourself. What are you here for? To just be dealing with nonsense? No. You're here to have a good time. Just like me and Isabel said, thought we were here to have a good time.
Right.
If we're not having a good time, then see you later.
Okay, guys. So thank you
so
guys
much
for
for
watching. We love that you guys are here.
Yes.
Make sure that you're liking, commenting, and following, because we really love that. And if you follow us on Instagram, Nothing's Wrong Podcast, we will follow you back. So make sure you guys follow us so we can follow you back. We
follow, unfollow, let us know that you're following, and that's how you get followed back.
If you're already following,
one person
unfollow us. Yeah,
we're lying.
No, we are not lying. If you unfollow us and follow us back, we will follow you. So make sure that you guys are following the Instagram and go there right now and follow, unfollow, and then go on YouTube too
and show us some light,
show us some love on YouTube. That would be really great, guys. We would appreciate that. Okay, Ibrahim says great. Okay, see, there you go. Thank you, always supporting. So
love you.
Thank you guys again for watching. And if you want to support the channel monetary style, you can always hit up the Cash App at Nothing's Wrong. I mean, $. Yeah, Nothing's Wrong Pod. Okay, guys, we love you and thank you for being here this evening.
Thank you.
But always remember,
you always will.
Nothing's wrong.
Have a good
Oh, that's hot.